Hi guys, I am doing my theme of the week this week. And the theme of the week this week is cartoon characters. Was what was announced. I kind of got two themes mixed up. Well, not mixed up. I had to flop them because I was sick over the weekend. So I was going to do a dress up for Mother's Day theme of the week. That will be next week. I know some people saw the one video where I mentioned that, and I believe a few people did the theme, the Mother's Day theme this week, and then it's going to do this theme next week. I don't care which way you do it. It's up to you. So you can swap them. You can do the Mother's Day one. You can do the can't even think, the Saturday morning cartoons one. It's up to you. You can do both. You can do neither. You can switch them. It's just because I didn't get the Mother's Day one made in time, and then I got sick. I completely forgot Mother's Day was last week, and Thursday night I'm like, oh crap, Mother's Day is this weekend, so I am going to make the theme of the week tomorrow when the kids are at school. Well, I woke up on Friday sicker than a dog and did not even start feeling halfway human until like Sunday, probably around bedtime. Monday I woke up still a little queasy, but not as bad. And Monday, as the day went on, I started feeling a lot better. And now, today is Wednesday, and I feel normal again. So I'm going to go ahead and do the theme. And like I said, I'm going to be doing the Saturday morning cartoon one. So I'm going to be putting Mr. Ukito in this cute Snoopy onesie that we got from Auntie Kim from the UK. So the edging around the neck and the bottom are all bright red. It's a white onesie. And then it's got 4 boxes with Snoopy and a bunch of different wood stocks. Each box, there's more wood stocks on it. And it's got a red house, a yellow house, like aqua house, and a green house. And then on the bottom it says Snoopy and Woodstock and multi-colors. The same colors as the houses. But yeah, it starts out with 1 woodstock, and then 4, and then 5, 8. I'm not even going to count that one. And then there is a bib to match it that says, "Hello, friend." And it's got Snoopy on a red house with Woodstock down here. And all the edging on this bib is red. And I'm going to pair that with these navy blue shorts. I need to get some more boy shorts. So yeah, this came from Auntie Kim in the UK. There's a sleeper that goes with it too, but it's been way too hot to think of putting a sleeper on him right now. Yeah, it started out really hot. We got up this morning. I got up when the kids got up. I got dressed instead of just dropping them off in my PJs and coming back and either hanging out, or sometimes I go back to bed. Just depends. But today we had to go to Austin because I had an appointment at the Apple store. My phone last week started acting up, like it would randomly just shut off. Like one day I had it charging overnight, and I woke up 10 minutes after the alarm usually goes off, and my alarm hadn't gone off. So I quickly rushed the kids, get them up, getting ready, and I grabbed my phone like, what the heck? Did I turn the alarm off and forgot to turn it back on? My phone would not turn on. Like the screen was black. I'm like, what is going on? So then I tried pressing the button to turn it on. That did absolutely nothing. So, fought with it a little bit. Went online, went on my computer, went online, and did a hard restart on it where you press the on button and the home button at the same time, then you switch the volume off, then back on. And that finally got it to start again. And when it was restarting, it was saying that it was only like 2%, which made absolutely no sense because it was charging overnight. And I know it was working. I got up at like 2:30 in the morning and went to the restroom, and it was working then, and it said 100%. So I have no idea, like I was all confused why it was at 2%, like what the heck happened. So after it's completely started and all the programs were up and running, which they had been running, my phone has been very slow. It's almost been getting slower and slower. And I have an iPhone 6. So I'm like, oh, I'm probably affected by that issue Apple admitted to earlier this year. I think it was early this year or late last year. And so I'm like, oh, it's probably what it is. My battery's going, because my husband's iPhone 6 battery went in a similar manner. Like, he would be doing something and it would go from like 100% to 40% to shutting down to then you turn it back on and it was 80%. Like, it was all over the place. And actually, I mean, he did end up getting an iPhone 7, but his 6 now won't even turn on. Like, the battery's dead. You charge it up and it'll come up to that screen, like when your phone is dead and you start charging it, that it has the picture of a battery with the red at the back. And it'll do that, but it won't charge at all. It'll do nothing past that. So we eventually are going to take his into because of the issue. So anyways, I had that issue and I called Apple and they're like, bring it in. So I set up an appointment. Now, mind you, there's only 2 Apple stores in Central Texas. Like, there's none in Waco, there's none in my area. True Apple stores. I guess I could take it anywhere that's Apple authorized to get a battery change, but to get the $30 battery, you know, you have to go to an Apple store. And so I was highly advised to make an appointment. So I did. And boy, am I glad I did. Because the Apple store opens at 10. We got to the mall, which the mall the Apple store is in is kind of like an upper class mall. There's a Neiman Marcus there. It's an open mall. It's similar to a strip mall, except for instead of it being in a straight line, it's like open shops, like an open concept mall. They call it a mall, and there's like streets in there, and above the shops are actually apartments and condos and flats and stuff. So it's a really nice mall. It's actually where the American Girl store was. But it's got, like I said, the Apple store in it. It's got Neiman Marcus. It's got Nordstrom, a big Nordstrom. Although it's not, actually, I won't call it a big Nordstrom. I've been to bigger ones. But had Neiman Marcus. There's actually a Whole Foods there, like, and it's got a lot of upscale dining. There's actually this cupcake place there that during store hours you can go in and order a pre-made cupcake, or you can actually walk up outside to the cupcake ATM and order a cupcake, and it will, like, you can order what kind of sprinkles and everything you want on it, and in less than 2 minutes you will have your created cupcake. So I had to kind of laugh about that. And like Lush is there, like a lot of smaller, there's even a bunch of boutiques there. It's a really nice mall. Well, most of the stores don't open till 10, Apple included. So we get there, the GPS said it would take about an hour and a half, and with the traffic as bad as it was, it did take trying to think, probably about an hour and a half. So yeah, it was correct. If there was no traffic, it would have been probably less than 45 minutes. It's an easy place to get to with the no traffic. when we went for American Girl, there was no traffic, so literally we're there 45 minutes. So anyways, we get there, and we actually got there at around 9:15, 9:20ish. And my husband and I, like, we walk over, we park in the ramp, because I looked online to see which ramp was closest to the Apple store. I was happy to see Lush was right by the ramp. So we we went to the ramp, we parked, and then we walked straight over to the Apple store. And we got there, the door was open, but there was a bunch of employees coming in. And my husband kind of looked at me, like, well, can we go in? I'm like, dude, those are employees, and it doesn't open till 10. They're still cleaning in there, like, you could see them cleaning in there. So he's like, well, I gotta go to the bathroom, and I doubt they have a bathroom in there. I'm like, well, I don't know, there's got to be a bathroom around here somewhere. So we started walking towards a few of the restaurants that were open already to see if we could use one of their restrooms. And I found the public restroom, which is across the street, and we got over there and they were cleaning them, except for the family bathroom was open. And I had to go to the bathroom before we even left. So I'm like, I'm going before you. So I went in and went to the bathroom, and the two ladies apparently let my husband go to the bathroom before the restroom was actually fully clean, because he was waiting for me. And so we get that done, we go back, and now this is probably around 9:30, 9:40ish, so we still have 20 to 30 minutes till the store's open. And there is already, we were the first ones there, and went to the restroom. When we came back, there was like now a group of probably about 5 to 10 people waiting in front of the store. And my husband looks at me and he's like, I don't really want to be here all day. And I'm like, I have an appointment, it shouldn't be bad. So we're all waiting, and about 10 minutes before the store opens, employee walks out, and he's like, okay, who's here for technical support stuff? Who's here for technical support? Who's here for sales? And so he kind of split us up into two groups and put us into two lines. And then he came over to us that were in the technical group, and he's like, okay, who has appointments? And so I'm like, I think I have an appointment. I actually had made the appointment for Friday, and then I got sick. Like, I had made an appointment for Friday, I got sick, I had to reschedule it to today. And I go, the person I talked to, I was confused. The person I talked to the first time was very helpful. He just asked for my phone number once and was able to get all my information and just verified it. I go, she asked for my phone number like 3 times. She kept asking how to spell my last name. She kept asking what my email address was. I go, I was confused, and I go, I never got an email. So he looked it up, and he's like, yeah, you have an appointment for today. And then he started going down the line for people that didn't have an appointment. Now, mind you, by the time the guy got out there, and even while he was doing the line for the technical stuff, like, more and more people were coming before the store even opened, and most of them did not have appointments. So the store opens. They had us that had appointments go in first. And so we went in, we were greeted by another employee who then got all of our information, verified all our information, and then they would assign us a spot. Like, if you've never been in an Apple store, at least this one, it's huge. But they had lots of seating in there. They had like multiple tables that were just open for technical support, and I loved the way they do that. I mean, the way they did tech support was, I will hands down buy Apple products, just because I have received such great customer service aside from that one phone call, and really, really, really good like technical support. So they have us sit down at this table, and about 5 minutes before my appointment, a technical support person, these are just like employees verifying information, a tech support person comes out. And he greets us, and he asks, you know, what's going on. I explained what had happened with my phone. And he's like, well, let's run the diagnostic tests. So he had his iPad that was to run the diagnostics and such. And basically, they do, the Apple iPads for their diagnostic can take over my phone. And kind of similar to like giving Apple permission to take over your computer. Like remote access. So he took over my phone, started running the diagnostic testing, and he verified, he's like, you know, the battery isn't the issue. He's like, you know, for as old as this phone is, which my phone is about 4 years old now, I think. 3 or 4 years old. Gotta do the math. It must be. Because it was up for an upgrade before we moved here. And we've been here 2 years. So it's gotta be almost 4 years. In January, I think it'll be 4 years old. He's like, for the age of your phone, it's actually, the battery is really good. He's like, it's running at 88% capacity. And he goes, most phones that old, he goes, we're lucky if we're seeing 50. He goes, you must have really taken care of it. And then I'm like, oh, so I guess it's not eligible for the battery change. He's like, oh, no. It's eligible for the battery change because I'm seeing this, I can't remember what he called it. Basically, within the software, it kicked into this mode, like this almost protective mode. And he said, you know, this is kind of what we're seeing that's causing issues within the software, but it's caused by the battery. The battery's sending a signal to the motherboard, or to the software in the motherboard, that kicks it into this mode. And he goes, the only way, the battery just keeps pinging the signal, and he goes, the only way to stop it is to change the battery. And he goes, it would explain what's happening with your phone. And he goes, you know, being like, it's just started happening, it's just going to get worse. Which, with my husband's phone, it started similar to what mine is, and it did just get worse. So he's like, yeah, it's eligible for the $30 battery change. He's like, so come back at, this was probably, my appointment was at 1:20. So this is probably, by the time he was done, it was about 10:20. It's about 10:30 by the time he was done. And he's like, come back at 11:45, your phone will be done. So my husband was like, well, do you just want to wait here? I'm like, it's really busy here. Let's just go out. It's hot though. Let's just go out and start walking around. So he knew I wanted to go to Lush because honestly, I have never been to Lush. I've heard so many good things about Lush, and I've always wanted to try Lush products. I know I can order them online, but it's never the same as going to the store. So we go to the store, and he actually got into it way more than I thought. He picked out a bath bomb for himself, which shocked me. I picked out one for myself. We got one for each of the kids. And then we got this soap that it's like Play-Doh, but it's soap. And the lady's like, kids just love this. So we got that for the kids to play in the bathtub. Then we went to Starbucks I was getting thirsty. And then we went to Neiman Marcus. And oh my gosh, I wish I had all the money. I found so many cute outfits. In fact, there was a few of them like, oh, I need to check out my... Sorry guys. Battery died and I did not know it was even flashing. So anyways, as I was saying, we're in Neiman Marcus, and I'm like, not Neiman Marcus, we're at Nordstrom's. We walk in and my husband's like, what are we doing here? Because the first floor was like sunglasses, purses, shoes, and men's. And then I'm like, we need to go upstairs. And he goes, no, we don't need to go upstairs because the sign up the escalator just says online pickups. I'm like, yeah, that's the online pickups, but there's shopping upstairs. They're telling you that's where you go to pick your online orders up. So we get upstairs and we're walking around, and he's like, what are we even doing here? I'm like, we're looking for the kids department. He's like, all I see is women's clothes. And then finally he saw like these little gray, barely gray letters that said boys, and he goes, the boys is over there, so I'm assuming you're wanting that area. So we walked over to that area, and the whole reason to go there was I wanted to see in person a Nuna Pippa and a Pippa Light. For when we have our next child, that is the car seat, or one of the car seats. There's 2 car seats I'm really deciding upon. It's either going to be that or the Britex, like the new one Britex just came out with that has like cooling fabric. I cannot remember what it's called. Oh, let's see, look it up quick. It's like cool, I don't want to say cool tech, but there's a new infant seat that they came out with, like, very, very, very recently. The Be Safe Ultra, that's what it's called. And the Be Safe Ultra has a cool mesh fabric, provides stylish safety, and gives your child a cool, comfortable ride. I absolutely love the Nuna. That's where I'm just, oh my gosh, I am like head over heels in love with the Nuna. I just wish they'd make a purple one, to tell you the truth. Or they might. I guess I've never looked. But the Cool Breeze, not Cool Breeze, Cool Breeze, is that what it was called? The Be Safe Ultra, that one, the reason why I'm thinking of that is because it gets so hot here, and I don't want baby to sweat, but the Nuna Pippa is, they've got a color called Berry, and it's kind of a maroonish. Well, they have Indigo. That's kind of a dark blue, though. They have Night, which is black, Graphite, which is gray, Berry, which is kind of a maroon color, which my husband would like that, and then Indigo, which is a very, very, very dark navy blue. I wish they would make a purple. If they made it purple, I'd be sold on that one. But anyways, so I've got it down to those 2 car seats after seeing a Pippa, because I've never seen a Pippa in person, but I've always heard fantastic things about the Pippa. So I've been highly considering a Pippa. But I wanted to like see, like, was it going to be too heavy, because that was a complaint I heard from a friend of mine. Now mind you, I have heavy babies. I got, my lightest was 8'8" when she was born, and my son was 10'9". So it's not like I grow little babies. And I'm like, if it's going to be very heavy, do I really want to lug around a heavy car seat? Like, I'm just keep going back and forth. I know I can buy an adapter for this stroller for the Nuna Pippa, so that's not a concern. I would have a stroller that I could use with it, or I could try to convince my husband into getting a Nuna stroller, which I don't know how well that would work. Not work, I know how well it would work, how well he would go for it. But, because there's the new Demi-Grow stroller, there's the Peppa, which is more of like an umbrella, there's the Mix, which is similar to this stroller, and the Mix series, Tavo. So there's a few different Nuna stroller options, but I really like my baby jogger. So anyways, I checked out the car seat. I started playing around with it, and the sales lady was very nice. She's like, can I help you guys with anything? And I'm like, my car seat tech just expired, but the car seat nerd in me, I go, I have never seen one in person. And she's like, you just want to play, don't you? And I go, oh yeah. And she goes, that one's fun. And she goes, and I'm not even a car seat person. She goes, honestly, if I have kids, she goes, they're going into Nunas. She goes, I love that. And she goes, I also love the Reva convertible seat that they had as well. So I checked out their strollers. I checked out their car seats. They did, like I said, they only had the 2 Nuna. They had the Pippa and the Pippa Light for infant seats. They had the Nuna and then Moxie Cozy. Can't think of the name of it now. It's a Moxie Cozy convertible. I believe it starts with a P. Priya. There we go. So those are the only car seats they had. And then they had a few different strollers. Like they had the Nuna stroller. They had 2 different Nuna strollers. They had a Baby Jogger City Mini XT or GX or something like that. Then they also had another stroller that I do not remember what brand it was. I don't think it was Baby Jogger or Nuna. Well, then I started looking at the clothes, and looking at the clothes, I could have spent so much money in there today. At they also had Jellycat stuffed animals, which I love those. Could have spent a bunch on those, but I could have spent money for clothes for these guys. I could have spent money on clothes for my kids. Oh, I wish I had an unlimited checkbook today. Probably would have spent a bunch of money at Apple then too. But there was this one outfit in particular. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to take a picture of it and send it to Crystal. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. I don't have my phone. Well, this whole time I'm looking at clothes, my husband got the drift that that's what I was doing. So he went over and found a couch and sat down and was sitting drinking his Starbucks. And the lady was just laughing. She's like, apparently she was talking to him because from where he was sitting, he was facing the cash register. And she's like, geez, this is a familiar sight. She goes, but usually not this early in the morning. Wife is shopping. Well, husband's sitting and it's his money she's spending. And he's like, I hope she's not spending my money today. If they would have had this one dress in my daughter's size, I would have bought it today. They had a whole bunch of mini boat and stuff. I was in love with all of it. They had tea. They had, what else did they have? I'm trying to think of the other brands. I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm in love with this. I could spend so much money here. And looking at the prices of the adults' clothes, even the kids' clothes are upper scale there. I would spend more on kids' clothes than I would spend on clothes on myself, even if I fit into the clothes that they sell here. So, we kind of looked around there, and then my husband's like, well, let's get going. Let's go back to Apple, because it was around 11 at this time. It's like, it should be done by now. And I'm like, well, the guy said 11:45. And he goes, well, let's just go back to Apple. So we went back to Apple, and we walk in, and now the place is just packed. It is completely plumb full. We walked in, there was a guy that walked in before us, and they asked if he had an appointment, and he said, no, I don't. And they're like, well, we will pre-warn you now. We can take you if you're willing to wait. And he's like, what do you mean willing to wait? And they're like, well, our next tech appointments aren't available until, I think it was 1 or 2 o'clock at this point. Now, mind you, this is still 11 o'clock in the morning, an hour after they have opened. Their tech appointments are going into it was 1 or 2 o'clock. And they're like, or we can register you, get you set up, and then you come back. And the guy ended up choosing to do that, but I mean, the place was just packed. And even, like I said, the tech appointment was just for a tech to come out and go over your Apple product with you there. Not I walk in, drop my phone off at 10:20, and then come back. They literally sat down and worked with you. There was some people there that were having problems with their MacBooks, and the tech literally, they plugged the MacBook in, they brought over their stuff to run the diagnostic on the MacBook. They are thorough, and they do it with you, which I love that, for the fact of there's nothing hidden. It's not like some places where their tech support takes it, runs back, does something to it. You have no idea what they did to it, and then comes back, oh yeah, by the way, now you owe us $300. And you are looking at your MacBook or your laptop or whatever is like, what did you even do to it? Where here, they run all the diagnostics with you sitting there and show you what is wrong with it. And then, okay, are you okay with this? Are you okay with getting it fixed? This is how much it's going to cost. If they have the parts to fix it, they'll tell you, you know, we'll get it fixed by this time today. If not, there's some people that had parts that were sent to their house that they brought back to the store, and then the tech department was able to fix it. So we sat down for a little bit, and then we started kind of looking around the store. Both of us want to get eye watches pretty soon. And so my husband was also looking at the other stuff because they had a bunch of accessories and stuff. And finally, at probably about 11:25-ish, I went over and I asked somebody, I'm like, is there any way to find out if my computer or my phone's done yet? And it was, but it wasn't fully charged. So I'm wondering if the reason why they wanted me to wait longer or gave me the later time was to charge it 100% because it wasn't. So we got my phone back. It restarted itself as we were walking to the car. And like, I'm almost in a panic. And I'm like to my husband, I'm like, okay, let's wait till it starts up before we leave. Because I don't want to get halfway home and then have no phone until we can get back here. So it started back up and we needed GPS. So we plugged my phone in and ran the GPS. It's my husband's phone. He didn't charge it. And it was dying. And we only had one charger in the car. And they told me to plug my phone in right away. So to get out of there, we got out of there. We got home. And I went and picked the kids up. But yeah, I mean, see, things like this that happened today, I mean, granted, yeah, it was like an upscale thing. I would love to like meet somebody and like go with a Dolly, have like a Dolly day there. I mean, or a Dolly date for a few hours, even walking around to some of these upscale shops. And my husband, he's fine going there, but he's like, I could never live in a place like this. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I could so live in one of those apartments up here. I would love it because a lot of the people that work in that area actually live there because then they can just walk to work. Like I said, there's a Whole Foods. They can walk there. They actually have like these little mini electric cars. Well, they were electric bus taxis. They fit each one fit like 8 people in it. And I think there was like, it was like a $2 ride because this mall is actually pretty big. If you want to go from one end to the other. They also have valet parking. Like I said, it's an upscale area. But my husband's like, oh, I could not stand this. This would drive me nuts. And I'm thinking, I would love this. Like, literally, you walk out your door and you're in this awesome mall area. Oh, I would love that. But I was just thinking, you know, walking around, you know, take out the nice strollers and go have fun. As well as the people that live in the apartments have dogs. Lots of them have dogs. And this is such a dog-friendly area. We're in Starbucks and a guy comes more than one of quite a few people came walking in with their dogs. There were lots of shops that had water bowls sat out for puppies to take drinks. There were lots of spots that had like the little doggy doo drops where they had like the plastic bag. So if your doggy took a doo, you pick it up, you pick up the number 2, put it in the bag, and then there's like a receptacle to put them in. And I don't know if this area has it, but there are quite a few areas that do stuff like that you put the dog poo in these bags, and these bags are like biodegradable. And they actually burn the poo and use it for energy, like electricity and stuff like that. I don't know if this area does it, but they did that. They had those all over. And we're in Starbucks. People came in with dogs. We're in the Apple store. Some people came in with their dogs. when we were in the bathroom. I mean, it was nice seeing places accept the dogs. And also, it was really nice seeing how socialized these dogs were. That I have no issues going into stores that have dogs, but my issue comes, like, you go into Walmart and somebody's walking around with their Chihuahua, and their Chihuahua's either barking at other customers or it is trying to bite other customers. I've seen that. I've seen, like, little, I don't even know what kind of dog, like mutt type dogs barking at, like, trying to attack. I saw one try to attack an actual person that had the dog as a seeing eye dog. Now, that's what drives me nuts with dogs in public. Now, if you've got a well-behaved dog, oh my gosh, I love seeing that. I mean, that's just the vibe that I like, walking around. Like, you go into the restaurant, bring your dog with, it lays down at the foot of your table. It was just awesome. Even though I'm a cat person, as you can see in the background, right over here. I don't know if you can see, my hand's probably in the way now. Teffy's sound asleep in the car seat. Teffy. Even though we're kind of cat people. But, so this is kind of a rambly video after I got him changed. I hope everybody has a great day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.